will it cover all your expenses? And unfortunately, the answer to that is no. So let's look at the details of Medicare A and B. Welcome to Medicare School Daily, where we help you understand Medicare, save money, avoid making mistakes, and above all else, get the most out of your Medicare benefits. Now, today's topic is actually a question about Medicare A and B. We called it original Medicare A and B. First off, Part A of Medicare is called hospitalization insurance. It's pretty much everything that would be related to inpatient care, either in the hospital or in a skilled nursing facility. So our first responsibility when we're using Medicare Part A, meaning we're in the hospital or in a skilled nursing facility, we're responsible for a deductible of $1,556. And that's our full out-of-pocket for a notice up to a 60-day stay. So it doesn't matter whether I'm in the hospital 1 day or 2 or 10 or 50 or 60 days, anything between 1 to 60 days is the same out-of-pocket to me. I have to meet my deductible, $1,556, and that's this year of 2022. Now, this deductible is very unique to Medicare because it's called a benefit period deductible. And unless you're on Medicare, you've never had this because our group plans at work or individual plans have annual deductibles. Well, this thing is not an annual deductible. It's a benefit period. And here's the way that works. Medicare defines the benefit period as you've been admitted to the hospital, right? And let's say 7 days later, you go home, you're discharged. From the date you're discharged for the next 60 days, you are still in your benefit period, which means if anything happens to you during the 60 days of being discharged, where you have to go back to the hospital, you're still covered by the same deductible because you're in the same benefit period. But let's suppose I'm admitted to the hospital, 7 days later I go home, 60 days goes by, and nothing happens to me that would cause me to be rehospitalized. But after those 60 days, something happens after that. And so now I have to go back to the hospital, then I would start a new benefit period and I'd be responsible for another deductible. So that deductible can occur more than once in a calendar year. All right, so that is our full out-of-pocket for the first 60 days in the hospital, which, folks, is going to cover probably 99% of every situation. But occasionally, there are people that are in the hospital longer than 60 continuous days. Number one, they're really sick, maybe even in a coma. And so Medicare will provide 90 more days of coverage, but they have daily copays that are going to range. But the third month has a daily copay, and month 4 and month 5 has a different daily copay. So that's what you pay every day for the third month, and that's what you pay every day for month 4 and month 5. So these get very, very pricey, and you're responsible for those. All right, so also Part A is going to cover skilled nursing facilities. Now here's the rules. Medicare says they will cover everything at the skilled nursing facility for the first 20 days. Now just be reminded that this is after a stroke, maybe after a hip replacement or some accident or a fall or an injury where you need some fairly intensive rehab. So Medicare says first 20 days, they'll pay fully, as long as you were in the hospital a minimum of 3 full days. They call it 3 midnights or 72 hours or longer in the hospital. Then Medicare pays everything first 20. Now, if you're not in 3 days or longer, they won't pay a penny, but they'll pay everything as long as you've had the 3-day stay. Now, if you happen to be in skilled nursing more than 20 days, notice Medicare covers you for 80 more days, but now you are responsible for a daily copay of $194.50. They tell me right now the average Medicare recipient is in a skilled nursing facility somewhere between 30 to 35 days. So the average person is spending $2,000 to $3,000 out of their pocket. So those are the things that Medicare A will not cover. Now let's look at the B side of Medicare. B is called the outpatient side of Medicare. And again, we have some gaps here. We have some things that Medicare is not going to pay. So the first thing they're not going to pay is the B deductible. Now this B deductible is not like the A. Remember, the A could happen more than once in a year. The B is just once a calendar year, and then it resets every January. So if I start my Medicare July 1, this is my deductible on the B side of Medicare. Remember, everything outpatient and doctors type services. So that $233 would be my deductible from July 1 to $1,231, and then it's going to reset again. Sometimes it goes up a little bit, sometimes it stays the same, but whatever it is, beginning in January, you're responsible for the first $233 on the B side of Medicare. After we've met that deductible, then Medicare is a very traditional 80-20 plan. Medicare is going to pay 80, and you're going to pay 20. So as long as you're seeing a Medicare provider and you're getting a service that is medically necessary, Medicare will pay 80% of that amount that's going to go to that doctor or to that surgeon or to that durable medical equipment provider. All those services on B, all those fees have been predetermined by Medicare, and of that predetermined fee, Medicare pays 80 and you pay 20. All right, that's called co-insurance. Now the problem with your 20%, it is totally unlimited. It never ever stops. Just keeps going and going and going. So throughout the year, you're always responsible for whatever 20% of that B bill would be. All right, and so you're responsible for that, and it never stops. Now people get insurance, as most do. We can get that 20% covered by insurance, but without insurance, you are going to be responsible for it. And then lastly, you're going to pay all physician excess charges. Folks, there are two types of doctors in the Medicare system. There are docs that take the Medicare approved amounts as payment in full. They don't add to the bill. Okay, that's about 9 out of 10 doctors. But 1 out of 10 doctors will not take that payment in full. They're going to add to the bill. And when they add to the bill, that is called an excess charge, and the limit is 15%. And when they add that to the bill, you're responsible to pay for that. So Medicare allows them to bill it, but Medicare doesn't share on the cost of that. You're fully responsible for excess charges. And again, not a huge risk right now, but again, most people are on Medicare for 20, 25, 30 years, and that could be a big situation, a big risk in the future. But those are the gaps that exist in Medicare that Medicare is not going to pay, that you're going to be financially responsible for those. So frankly, most people that see all those gaps don't want to assume all those gaps, and they'll transfer those gaps away to an insurance company. They'll pay them a premium. Insurance company in turn will assume the risk, and the insurance company will pay out those some of these gaps or all those gaps based upon the coverage that you buy. And of course, you have to pay them a premium to take that risk from you. So things that Medicare will not pay, that then you can take those risks and transfer those to an insurance company. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video, and I do hope that it was helpful. Now, if you feel like you need to learn more about Medicare to make sure you're making the right Medicare decision, really the best way and the easiest way to do that is to go to MedicareSchool.com. That's MedicareSchool.com, and you'll be given the opportunity to click on Get the Free Workshop. We call that the Essentials Workshop, and I do all the teaching, and there you'll learn all the ins and outs of Medicare to make sure that you have an accurate and thorough understanding of how Medicare works. The second thing you can do is click where it says Talk to a Medicare Guide, and there you can actually set up a time where you can discuss your situation with the Medicare Guide. They'll explain all your options, and they'll actually even walk you through the enrollment process as well if that's what you need to do. And so go to MedicareSchool.com, watch the workshop, or talk to a Medicare Guide. It would be our privilege to assist you further.